Evet, herkese merhaba, hoş geldiniz. Umarım hepiniz iyisinizdir. Güzel isimler görüyorum, tanıdık isimler, yüzler diyemiyorum şu anlık ama isimler görüyorum. Ee, Hala tabii bazı katılımcılarımız gelmeye devam ediyor. Ara ara onları hem oturumumuza kabul edeceğim hem de bir yandan da başlayalım diyorum. Çok fazla zaman kaybetmeden tekrardan teşekkür ediyorum hepiniz katıldığınız için. İsmim Bilgehan Çoruhlu. Birçoğunuz tanıyordur diye düşünüyorum. Tanımayanlar için de tanıştığımıza şimdiden memnun oldum. Yaklaşık 8 senedir MediaCast'te görev alıyorum. Şu anda da halihazırda ürün strateji müdürü olarak da devam ediyorum ve biz MediaCast olarak son 2 aydır bir webinar serisi yapmaya çalışıyoruz, yapmaya başladık. Siz değerli partnerlerimiz için özellikle Pro AV tarafında var olan çözümlerimizi birçok temsil ettiğimiz marka ile birlikte sizlere aslında tanıtmak, ulaştırmak istiyoruz yeni güncellemeleri. Ve bu webinar serimizde sürekli devam ediyor olacak. Geldiğiniz için tekrardan teşekkür ediyorum açıkçası. Bugün çok güzel bir konuğumuz var. Bugün çok sevdiğimiz, temsil ettiğimiz markalarımızdan, üreticilerimizden biri Kiloview ile birlikte olacağız. Kiloview markasının aslında AV over IP sektörüne neler sunduğunu, ne çözümler getirdiğini, ne gibi kolaylıklar sağladığını ve özellikle AV tarafında hem video transmission hem merkezi kontrol hem de otomasyon alanında ne gibi kolaylıklar ve çözümlerle karşınıza geldiğini konuşuyor olacağız. E, Bugün bizlerle birlikte Kiloview'dan sevgili teknik uzman Armen de bizle birlikte olacak. Bütün sorularınızı cevaplayabilecek pozisyonda olacağız. Dolayısıyla biz hani biraz daha interaktif olsun. Lütfen hani çekinmeyin. Sohbet tarafında dilediğiniz gibi bütün sorularınızı yazın. Ben olabildiğince bunları Armen'e iletiyor olacağım ve anında da orada da yanıtlamaya çalışacağız. Çok başlamadan önce çok ufak bir hani Kiloview markasından bahsetmek isterim. Bilmeyenleriniz için, bilenleriniz için de güzel bir tazeleme olsun hepimiz açısından. Kiloview aslında yani çok uzun senelerde sektörde olan özellikle AV tarafında ve AV over IP tarafında öncü markalardan bir tanesi. Hatta özellikle NDI tarafında ürettiği çözümlerle de dünyada ki ilk profesyonel çözümleri sunan markalardan da birisi. E, Yaklaşık kaç sene önce oluyor? 2016 civarında. Yani ilk Newtek NDI protokolünü duyurduğundan itibaren onunla birlikte ortaklaşa çalışan hatta bazı partnerliklerle bile NDI çiplerini üretmeye başlayıp birçok markaya da bu çipleri tedarik eden markalardan birisi Kiloview. Ve bu süreç boyunca aslında birçok öncü birimiyle ilk NDI işte 4K encoder'ıyla, ilk NDI HX encoder'larıyla ve dediğim gibi diğer markalarla olan partnerliğiyle birlikte işi çözümlerini biraz daha genişleten bir workflow oluşturan yani uçtan uca çözümler sunmaya başlayan birçok gerek yazılım desteğiyle gerek donanım desteğiyle birlikte aslında bütün AV over IP workflow'unu tek başına göğüsleyebilen bir marka haline aldı. Şu anda da yaklaşık 4-5 senedir de e, bizlerle birlikte bu partnerliği Türkiye tarafında devam ettiriyor. E, Ve bugün de size aslında A'dan Z'ye AV entegrasyonlarınızda Kiloview'in size sunabileceği bütün imkanları konuşmak, gelecekte Kiloview'den neler bekleyebileceğimizi konuşmak ya da bazı yeri geldiğinde örnek projelendirmelerle biraz daha ufkumuzu, biraz daha olasılıkların farkına varmamızı sağlamak. Dolayısıyla aslında çok fazla da bekletmeyeyim. Hem konuğumuzu hem de sizleri yavaş yavaş size sunumumuza başlayalım diye düşünüyorum. İlk önce bu arada tabii ki konuğumuzla tabii ki İngilizce sohbetimizi devam ettiriyor olacağız. Fakat ara ara sizlere bazı önemli noktaları hatırlatmak ya da vurgulamak adına bazı Türkçe özetler de veriyor olacağım. Fakat siz tabii ki sorularınızı sorarken ister İngilizce, ister Türkçe istediğiniz gibi sorabilirsiniz sohbette. Ben bunları konuğumuza iletiyor ve aynı şekilde çevirisini yapıyor da olacağım. Dolayısıyla şimdiden herkese umarım iyi seyirler diyelim. Umarım iyi bir şey geçiririz, webinar geçiririz. Ve çok fazla bekletmeden de konuğumuzu çağırıyorum. Barev, Armen, how are you today?
Hello, merhaba Bilgen. How are you? Can you hear me well?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. It's great. It's great to see you. So we are waiting for you to dive into the Kiloview products and or technologies. But before, so would you please introduce yourself a little bit to our audience so they can know you more?
Yes, sure. First of all, thank you for having me and providing this possibility to introduce some of our ecosystem product from Kiloview. My name is Armen. I'm located in Armenia and I'm a technical specialist at Kiloview, as well as I have my own production in my country, which using basically AV over IP, using NDI protocol, then TAV, etc. So today we are going to talk about Kiloview ecosystem, not about all the products, but the interest products for our regions.
Okay, perfect. So, Armen, so we are so excited to go dive into the technologies of the Kiloview, what Kiloview will give us for our solutions. So, especially most of our AV partners are here, and then they most probably have many questions to ask you. I hope you are ready. So, I will not make you wait. I will not make them wait. So we can dive into maybe even with the first question, like it's not a question, but it's a request. Can you start with the all portfolio of the Kiloview so we can understand what type of products we are talking about right now?
All right, yeah, if you can see now the presentation, Bill Gilman, if you can show us,
Yes,
yeah.
we can.
So all our business scenarios introduced here in this presentation. So we're doing not only the specific things like broadcasting or media integration, but there is lots of things that can be covered through the ecosystem of Kiloview in AV over IP technology, like broadcast, conferences, healthcare, education, sports, house of worship, and much more. It all depends on your imagination. And there is lots of different devices that you can see now in this slide. I will not go step by step which devices we have here. All this information could be also got from the web pages, but in general, we are covering capturing, distributing, transcoding solutions through the AV over IP. And today we'll talk about some devices which is mostly used during the integration and production in both sides.
So what about the workflow there? So we are talking about the encoders and decoders, like different sources and managing these sources, right? So when we talk about the whole workflow, so is it something like that we should expect from you, right?
Yeah, first of all, when we're talking about video and audio over IP, we should talk about bringing the source from camera, PC, or anywhere else through the HDMI and SDI, like traditional connection that we have until now, and I hope we will have it until I don't know when, but now the Ethernet and the technology of IP is coming more and more. And also when we are talking about distributing the signal, this is not only distributing through the traditional cables, but also through the network. So we are also covering the distributing the signal, like multiple signals from multicast or also single cast using one device for distributing one signal to any monitor, as well as very important thing in nowadays, it's transcoding, where we can use one IP signal and transcode it to another one and again distribute to the global network. So that's the mostly all we have and all we're covering in the ecosystem of Kiloview. And now when we'll talk about the devices and the solutions, you will see how deep it can go. Depends on the necessity you want to use.
Perfect, perfect. Then let's go for the devices. And I believe that we should start with the some encoders, right? So am I right? So
Yeah, you are completely correct. So now you can see the first encoder and bidirectional encoder decoder converter. One word we can use for this, it's the N60 or N50. These encoders, why we are mentioning both of them together, the difference is like SDI and HDMI solution. This is 4K full functional video converter that can encode your 12G from SDI or 4K HDMI signal to your NDI workflow and then distribute it anywhere you want. I also can show you the physical device. It's under my hand that we're using in our production. So this device has redundancy Ethernet port inside, one of them working through the PoE connection. Also, you can connect redundant power for 12 volt from the adapter that coming with it. Also, here is a toggle for switching on and off for the power. Depends on necessity. This is coming from all our customer needs. Also, embedding and de-embedding possibilities through the line-in inputs. You can see here line in and line out, depends on mode you're choosing, as well as HDMI in, HDMI out. The same configuration with the SDI. The difference is only 12G SDI input and output. As well as you can see USB 3 and Type-C possibility here. This is mostly using for connecting external tally, for example, or extra power for your converter if you need or something else, as well as connecting for the decoding mode, your external cable for controlling your sources directly from the USB without necessity to connect any other device through the network, just directly connect to your decoder. And also here is possibility to input your transflash card. With the comparison of all these three last things I told, transflash card, USB and USB-C, also can be used for local recording of the source. So it depends which encoding quality you set inside of box. You can record it directly to your trans memory card or USB external card. And also you can use NAS recording, connecting your second or even the same LAN cable to your network and record everything coming through the SDI or HDMI directly to your network storage device and use instantly as soon as you finish recording. So in the front panel, you can see also the button for configuration your menu here, as well as tally light. In front is a big display and the small tally in the back side. So this encoder can be just put it to your camera, connect through the necessary cable to your camera, and that's it. You have your production with the NDI inside. The other side, you can use the decoding for the same device. So at this point, you brought signal from your camera. You don't need this. You go to the monitor. You have some software on any other different hardwares which are encoding the NDI. You can just connect the HDMI or SDI output, de-embed your audio if you need through the line-in output to your XLR or jack connection, and see the NDI workflow directly in your monitor, on your screen, on your projection, etc. So this is full functional 4K supporting 10-bit 4/4 encoding and decoding, and possibility to decode up to and also encode up to 4K or 12G for the SDI version. So
yeah,
yes.
I'm sorry if I interrupted, but so it looks like it's a little bit different product that we saw before from I don't know even from you. So I mean, it is not only one NDI encoder and decoder. It is NDI, NDI HX. I see RTMP, RTSP in the same time. It's like the all-in-one solution. Am I right?
Yes, yes. That's the next thing I want to talk about. This is not only encoding and decoding the NDI high bandwidth. It's also encoding and decoding NDI HX2, HX3, as well as SRT, RTSP, HLS, and all other popular network protocols that can be used for encoding and decoding for your production. So it means if you even not familiar with NDI, but you need to quickly decode your SRT, for example, on your network, or UDP, you can just connect your HDMI or SDI output to your screen and configure for your SRT or UDP or something else for receiving. The same thing, you can stand up to 6 with the NDI, also like 7 encodes at the same time to different destinations. The lowest possible latency is for NDI you can use on your local production, then SRT, RTMP, HLS, UDP, everything can be sent simultaneously to different locations, once per protocol, but it can be used. And also, with this possibility, you can record your HDMI or SDI input directly to your NAS or local storage. So this is the functionality.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I think even so, it's so interesting to have the network recording solution with the simple encoders, let's say. So as I can understand from the encoders side of the NDI encoder side, so these are your, let's say, flagships, right? So these are the ones that like do many things for you, right?
Yeah, I think at this point is one of the best completely dedicated bidirectional converter that can solve completely any task that you need. I also forgot to mention that the Kiloview'in ecosystem also has the Kiloview'in intercom server that can be integrated directly to your devices. It doesn't matter which devices you use. At this point, when we are talking about encoding and decoding, we also can say that encoder side on your camera production side, decoding side on your screen, all of them could be connected to the server side locally and globally, depends on your configuration. Just connecting USB microphone and USB headset basically to the USB port or Type-C port, you directly connecting to the server, and you can talk bidirectionally with cameraman director, or if you have a media integration place, all your encoders and decoders could be connected to each other. This is very useful for the scenarios when you have many different floors in your building, as well as underground floors where the cellular connection or even Wi-Fi connection is not reachable for all the participants. So as your cable is already go to your decoder side, you can easily be connected to the server through the network. This is not high bandwidth necessary, but high quality and very stable low latency intercom between all your participants there. So all the devices can be connected to this intercom server and communicate with each other.
That's really great to hear. So I believe that as even this looks great, and this looks so complete so that we can use it for any sources, any destinations all the time to just create our AV over IP environment, as I can understand. But so there's a question. There are questions on everyone's mind all the time that I can hear from even from here. So do we have some other let's say alternatives, like for the more affordable ones? Maybe we don't need so much detail. We don't need so much this type of specs or features and stuff. So do we have any other alternatives in your solutions that we can use instead of the higher one?
Sure. The next slide I will also show that you can read here, and the next device is smaller version and lighter version for full HD. This is N6 or N5 for SDI, N6 for HDMI. This solution is also very interesting and very powerful. This is not 4K, there is no local recording inside, but instant work with your input and output. Again, bidirectional converter for full HD. There is no support for 10-bit 444, but it works full NDI and HX NDI as well as HX2 if you need to work with your bandwidth on the network, as well as line in and line out for your embedding or de-embedding using the line in output. And only one Ethernet connection with the PoE support, which you can use with your camera or with your monitor. Also, here is tally light display in front of this and small tally light behind this, so the cameraman can see what's happening in your production if you're using it for broadcast, or if you're using for media integration, you can see if someone using this encoder for any production, this will light up here. As well as here, you can see the Type-C connection for your USB headset integration. But also, very interesting thing for both devices. The USB not only working for recording in N50 and N60 and for intercom connection, but also you can encode very important thing, you can encode your USB capture device. What this means? Different scenarios I can suggest. For example, you have any kind of mixer in your production, or you have web camera in your production, and you need push this signal from one side to other side using different fiber cables, etc. For example, 500 meters far away, you're just connecting your USB device to N6 or N60, the same for the SDI versions too, and your signal instantly converting to NDI, and in N60 and 50 versions also to SRT, HLS, etc., RTMP, and sending to your destination. Like, it just works instantly. Everything you need to do is just go to web interface of device or the centralized management software and change the source for encoding from HDMI or SDI to USB. That's very powerful function.
That's really interesting, actually. So before we move on, so I have some really good questions to you. Before we move on, so let me do a little bit summarize in native language. So maybe if anyone missed anything, so I don't want them to miss some really good points of these two products. Okay, so I will take your like 30 seconds or something. Okay. Okay.
Sure, no problem.
Evet, şöyle ki aslında ara ara dediğim gibi böyle bazı şeyleri birazcık tekrar etmek gibi olacak ama hem belki doğru anlaşılamamıştır, belki ne bileyim bir hani üzerine çizmekte fayda olduğu için de bazı şeyleri tekrarlamak da istiyorum. Yani şu an halihazırda Kiloview'in NDI tarafında encoder ve decoderları üzerine konuşuyorken bir N60, N50 bir de N6 ve N5 tarafını konuştuk. Bunlar aslında hem 4K yani N60 ve N50'ler 4K 60 kare çalışırken N6 ve N5'lerde Full HD çalışıyor. HDMI, SDI bu zaten hepimizin karşılaştığı şekilde encoding ve decoding yapabiliyor. Burada can alıcı birkaç nokta var. Bunlardan bir tanesi aslında N60 ve N50'yi konuştuğumuz zaman daha komple bir çözüm olması. Çünkü sadece NDI ile değil, NDI-HX, SRT, RTMP, RTSP, HLS gibi bütün diğer protokollerle de çalışıyor olması aslında çok büyük bir avantaj. Çünkü burada kurulacak olan AV over IP sisteminin sadece tek bir protokole bağlı kalması zorunluluğunu ya da handikapını ortadan kaldırıyor. Ayrıca N50 ve N60 serisi olan encoderların hem kendi üzerinde hem de network üzerinden record yapabilme özellikleri ise bir yandan da tabii hani birçok AV entegrasyonun, AV projelerinin aslında aranabilecek özelliklerinden biri oluyor. Bununla birlikte hani daha ilginç kısmına gelirsek, şimdi N6 N5'ten de bahsederken aynı özelliklerin tabii ki de multi protokol yerine işte gene NDI ve NDI-HX olması, Full HD çalışması diğerlerinden farklı. Bir de tabii ki de üzerinde bir record option'u olmaması daha affordable, daha kullanışlı olabilecek bir encoder decoder halini aslında alıyor. Ama burada en güzel şeylerden biri, beni en etkileyen şeylerden biri, bir yandan da bu encoder decoder'lar bir USB converter olarak da çalışıyorlar. Yani USB görüntü kaynağınızı da encode edebilip network'ünüze IP, AV over IP sisteminize katabiliyorsunuz. Yani işte bunlar webcam olabilir, USB kameralı olabilir, ne olursa olsun. Bunlar için de bir aslında convert, encode işlemi gerçekleştirebiliyorlar. Bu cidden beklenmedik bir şey normal bir encoder halinde tarafında düşündüğümüz zaman. Şimdi dediğim gibi hala bu arada sorunuz olsa lütfen sormaktan çekinmeyin. Ben şu an sorularımla Armen'e birkaç daha merak ettiğim şeyi soracağım. Tekrardan Armen'e geçiyorum. Okay, Armen, we are with you again. So next question of mine is almost I'm pretty sure that it's in everyone's mind. So let's say we have these encoders and decoders for the sources and the destinations. But when the projects or the AVIP workflows become more complex and more let's say the wider scaled or something, so everybody will ask that how I can manage this many equipments. So do we have any solution, any solution to like the centralized management for management for the NDI workflow in your side? I know you have some, but I'm asking these questions behalf of our audience. So so what you can give us for the centralized management, like for the NDI environment, to that we can integrate to our AV over IP projects?
So yeah, thank you for this question. I think we should talk not only about the centralized management, because as I already mentioned, centralized management software, which is based in Linux operating system, as well as dedicated Kiloview'in Server Pro new product that could control all the devices in the network. But also we can talk about the distribution management of the NDI flow. So this is much more important when we are talking about massive devices on your network. So when you have lots of different encoders and as well as many different decoders on your big entire area, so you need to understand which flow go where, and this is the massive bandwidth that you can use. So for this reason, the NDI suggesting the turnkey solution as an NDI core. Here you can see NDI core Max. This is the hardware solution. We have also the software solution for this, like NDI Core Pro. This device mostly used for bringing all your NDI signal and distribute to virtual output, so you can easily manage which source, which output could be reached, and how massive the signals could be, bandwidth could be in your network. And all your virtual outputs could be attached to your decoder side. So then instantly could be switched through the matrix switching inside of the web interface or through the API commands. So here you can see the hardware turnkey solution for the distribution of the NDI signals. As I already told you, it's all-in-one turnkey solution. It's very stable, secure, and structurable. So it's only NDI prioritized, and it has all the benefits from NDI. The latest updates from 6.3 is also available for the NDI core, but the hardware is also different. It has 2 redundancy power PSU inside, as well as 2 SFP plus ports for the high bandwidth, and also the redundancy and the aggregation of the bandwidth. So you can use 2 different modes inside for aggregating your bandwidth up to 20 gigabits, and as well as redundant your entire bandwidth for the NDI flow. As well as you can connect the HDMI outputs to see your multi-view, and the web interface connecting through the dedicated Ethernet port that could be controlled. Of course, here is also implementing the centralized management possibility, as you mentioned in the beginning. Why I separating management and distribution workflow from each other? When we are talking about centralized management, it means every device from the Kiloview ecosystem connected to your network can be visible and one-click editable, rebootable, resettable from your centralized management's web page, for example, and the hardware device. But the distribution is also helping you to collect everything in your network. For sure, you should use network switch that can pass through this bandwidth from your network. But when your core, the middle thing for receiving all the signals and then distribution to your virtual outputs, and from the virtual outputs to your physical decoders, sure, the NDI core is the best solution for this, because you can instantly use many different sources to be switched inside of one virtual output, which is attached to your decoder. And your decoder don't need to think which signal I should receive, which command I should receive. It's all inside. Just many sources, unlimited virtual outputs. Basically, it all depends on your bandwidth that I told. You can just choose this source, go there instantly, seamlessly, without any issues. And here you can see one of the workflow examples, how it looks. You have different sources, like it could be your TriCaster source, it could be your NDI camera, DSLR camera connected through the encoders. At this point, you can see N60 or N50 in the image. Also, your mobile phone connected through the Ethernet or Wi-Fi. Everything in NDI could be sent through your network to the NDI core. Here you can see also the Cubics one. This is a distributed system from the Kiloview. We're not talking about this, but it's again based on NDI core. And all other virtual outputs you can see here could be attached to any different decoders or softwares or TriCaster mixtures or even software mixtures that you use in your production. So not necessary to choose. Yeah, and just your source go to virtual output and attach to decoder. That's it. All your NDI flow working prioritized for the NDI and work very stable and secure. As you mentioned, which kind of product we have also another new product which we will talk about for the centralized management and distribution. But at this point, we are focusing on NDI core solution.
Okay, just great. So as I can understand, as we can think about the NDI core like it's a whole distribution system that we can manage from the one place for all of our signals, so we can distribute them wherever we want. So I heard that you mentioned about there are APIs that you can use with, because this is another question comes from always from the partners from time to time about some projects and stuff. So it means that we can use this workflow easily with our projects that include some automation systems like Crestrons, like Extrons, so we can easily manage this distribution through them, through the NDI core, and we can do the switches and the stuff according to the scenario. So it's easy, right? We can do that.
Sure. Yeah. So here I also prepared some case study, which is very similar, very close to the example you are asking for. So here in this AV system, integrators used N60 and N6, depends on which quality and resolution they need, and also as a decoder too, and NDI Core Max in the center of the distribution flow. And also there's some software, the MultiView Pro, which we'll talk about slightly later during our conversation. The integrators use here, as you can see, PTZ cameras and also Crestron control system. So there is two interesting things I want to explain about the Crestron integration. So first of all, API commands. For sure, all API commands can be involved to your existing Crestron system, which means you don't need to change your entire system to integrate something new coming from a Kiloview ecosystem. It means you have device, for example, we are integrating N60. You can connect on your existing Crestron display screens, etc., just using traditional HDMI or SDI. For this reason, you can just distribute your NDI flow, NDI stream to your decoder. But from the API command side, you can integrate commands for the device you want to control. At this point, we already talked about encoders and NDI core. Both of them can be controlled through the API commands. And all API commands are reaching directly to the device through the IP that you mentioned. So in general, what it means, I have decoder on the Crestron monitor set up somewhere in your building. I have the entire general control room with the Crestron based. I'm implementing API command directly to Crestron. And when I, for example, dedicate one button for sending signal to the device, Crestron will use API command to send to exact IP to change the source to the exact destination. And entirely, you don't use anything new or completely change something. You just integrate new device to your production and control it without any changing, just API command and just distribution and encoding system.
That's really sounds perfect. So by the way, the first thing that I'm curious about what type of cruise is that? So this case study is a cruise ship, I believe, right? So I would love to be there to see what's happening there. Okay, Great.
Yeah,
So I will take another 30 seconds of yours and then explain a little bit about the NDI
sure,
core system as well. Okay, okay.
sure, yeah.
Yeniden geri döndüm. Şöyle ki aslında çok ilginç de devam ediyor ya, bazı şeyleri ben de evet zaten biliyordum, hakimim ekipmanları, ama bir yandan da oluşturabilecek, yapılabilecek sistemler uyanıyor aklımda yeni şeyleri öğrendikçe. Şu an son olarak aslında encoder decoderları konuştuk, bir sistem kurmayı, bir workflow, iş akışı kurmayı, bir proje oluşturmayı düşündük. Fakat hani bunların yönetimi, distribution'ı tarafında, çünkü biliyorsunuz ki over IP'de bir encode decode işlemleri genelde web arayüzünden girilip işte kaynak seçilimiyle vesaire gibi işlemlerle yapılır ve bu hani elinizde 50 tane encoder ya da decoder olduğu zaman, böyle bir iş akışı olduğu zaman yapması, gerçekleştirmesi çok zor işlemlerden bir tanesi. Dolayısıyla bunun çözümü olarak NDI Core isimli bir sistem mevcut. Yani gelen kaynaklar ve oluşturulan destinasyonlar arasında matristleme işlemi yapabilen, hani tek tuşla farklı senaryolara geçebilen, yani tek şu şuraya gitsin, işte bu kaynak bu destinasyona gitsinden çok, işte farklı senaryolarda, farklı presetlerde tek tuşla farklı iş akışlarını anında senaryoları değiştirebilen bir sistem ki bunun en güzel özelliklerinden bir tanesi ise API üzerinden aslında sizin var olan otomasyon sistemlerinizle, otomasyon kontrol sistemlerinizle bağlanabiliyor olması. Yani bu ne demek oluyor? Sizin halihazırda oluşturduğunuz AV projeleri içerisinde bulunan herhangi bir, işte genelde örnek verilen Extron ya da Crestron gibi yönetim otomasyon sistemleri varsa, bunların API komandlarını tanımlayarak aynı şekilde Kiloview cihazlarında Kiloview encoder ve decoderlarını ve NDI core'unu da yönetebilecek duruma gelebiliyorsunuz ve böyle rahatlıkla herhangi bir işte konferans salonu ya da bir etkinlik salonu ya da işte çoklu sınıflar vesaire gibi o ortamlarda kontrol paneli üzerinden bir iki tuşla işte hem bütün otomasyon sisteminiz, işte perdeleri, klimayı, ışığı, bütün her şeyi kontrol edebiliriz. Hem de görüntü sistemleri, görüntü distribution'ı kontrol edebildiğiniz bir hal alıyor. Bu aslında heyecan verici şekilde kolay görünen, esnek bir yapı sunuyor bize gibi geliyor. Tekrardan geriye dönüyorum Armen'e. Yes, Armen, I'm with you again. So
Yeah.
I've come with a question immediately. Now I'm starting thinking that okay, we have the workflow, we have encoders, decoders, and the NDI core between them to distribution. So
Mhm.
what about if I want to have some like the solid and flexible solution to expand my input output counts, or I don't know, extend my, I don't know, which different protocols and stuff. Do I have anything like more how can I say that, like the subtle or solid like the rack type solution can I use? So do we have anything to make that happen, like as a solution from your side?
Yeah, sure. So here is another one interesting product that we can suggest is the Cradle Series RFO2 Cradle Chassis, which has internal switch inside, centralized management possibility, and very important, attention, up to 18 cards could be integrated inside one Cradle chassis, as well as your different Cradle chassis can be extended cascadely or just using aggregating of the link to push your bandwidth through. What means Cradle Chassis RFO2 and why we're using this? As you mentioned, when you need change your system from traditional one to NDI or make some extension by keeping your traditional one and extend it to NDI workflow, or basically AV over IP workflow, you just need RFO2. What it does, you can integrate all my mentioned encoders, decoders, transcoders, and as well as computing PC. Yes, you heard it correctly. Computing PC. 2 and even 4 computing PC could be integrated to the RFO2. And all these could be placed on one 2 full-sized unit and be managed on your network and on your entire production. So the RFO2 has possibility to integrate different encoders, decoders, bring your SDI HDMI signal, transcode it, send it to the other decoders to the other side, bring another encoders to your network and decode through the device inserted here. And also, for sure, centralized management is also inside of it. Centralized management make possible to configure, reboot, reset, and even enter to the web interface of exact device on RFO2 and change your encoding or decoding settings, for example. Everything just in one 2-unit full-size rack mount device with active cooling, with 2 PSU, with 3 10 gigabit SFP ports, with 3 10 gigabit Ethernet ports, which could be used for your entire production as well as aggregated for your production. Also, it could be used for the bonding platforms for our remote production, but for the media integrators, for sure, this could be used as an encoders, decoders, as well as for upcoming future. We are talking with the audio over IP solutions like Dante. Here you can see Dante AVH, but here is about Dante audio card solution, which could be also set directly to RFO2 and be implemented to your entire production with setting flow from audio over IP, which delay setup, etc., everything you need here, as well as XLR and jack connection. This is for upcoming future.
That is interesting to hear that it has like the 18 card slot. It's quite good amount, right? So, but
yes.
On the other hand, I started to think one thing. So I have an 18 card on one chassis, and then what something happens to that chassis? I mean that what if power goes off? What the network is bandwidth is not enough or something? So do you, what it gives us as a redundancy? So when it becomes as like something in a server room, so we always need to think about the redundancy. Do we have any solution for that? I mean, would it give like some redundant things?
Yes, I already mentioned from the power perspective, we have 2 PSU inside and the power is always redundant. All the Pro AV solutions that Kiloview suggests definitely has 2 power redundancy solution. For the network redundancy, as I already mentioned first, you don't need any extra switch for use all these cards inside because it has already internal one with very low pocket exchanging bandwidth. Also, as I mentioned, 3 SFP ports which could be redundantly used in one aggregated channel. And if the SFP is not enough, you have also the Ethernet connection for using only for your centralized management or not high bandwidth flow from the NDI. And sure, the redundancy is number 1 for Pro AV solutions from the Kiloview ecosystem.
Okay, just great. So then again, another question comes to my mind, which is like so since it's a chassis, so we should have some cards, and I believe there are multiple cards there that you can provide as a Kiloview, like for different like the workflows and the different segments that, as I can understand. Can you introduce them a little bit to us?
Yeah. There is 3 popular one I separated for introducing this, like most interesting and functionality ones. This is 4K bidirectional converter from the FN50, FN60. This is the card version of bidirectional converter of N60 and N50. The functionality is the same. You can bring SDI or HDMI in your production, as well as decode HDMI SDI on your production, just using it in one cradle chassis with the internal switch inside and the delivering to the network through the SFP or Ethernet. The other one is the FMG 400 that I separated. This is mostly for transcoding your signal. Why I also separating the transcoding? Because nowadays you're using not only local production, but sometimes you need to send some small packet to the global network, like SRT or RTMP to the social network, etc. So the FMG can do IP transcoding solutions directly inside of your RFO2. And even you have different different FMGs inside. You can have your IP workflow to RFO2 cradle chassis, and then transcode as much as you need global network deliveries from your necessity. And the other very interesting thing that I mentioned in beginning, up to we are mentioning two computing cards based on AMD CPU, because Kiloview and AMD working, cooperating together, and the AMD create the suggesting the solution based on their CPU for our cradle chassis, just PC inside of your cradle, RFO2. You can use Linux, you can use Windows inside, you can use it as a full functional PC, as well as for software production, as well as for presentation, just your daily duty workflow like Word, Excel, something else. So it's full functional computer inside your cradle chassis. So if you count how many different things could be inside of your chassis with way more low price but high performance, you can see that cradle chassis is the thing you need to use in your integration system to just use anything you want. PCs, encoding, decoding, transcoding, all in one solution.
That is really interesting. So I believe that. So as I understand that. So with the Cradle series, we can make them as like the servers, like the computers that we can run some softwares on it with the FXC card, right? So did I understand it
Yes.
right? So
Yeah. You can.
Okay.
For example, if you need Kiloview intercom server, you don't need dedicated PC to create this. If you have RFO2, you just use one of your FXC for a Linux base station, and that's it. All the Linux server side could be there. The other FXC can be used for your Windows, and you can use multi-view software or recording software inside of it. It's very easy to use.
So we can even use the third-party softwares as well, as I can understand, right? So like I saw Vmix logo, for example. So
Sure,
maybe with the
yeah.
TriCaster Mini S or something as a software. I don't know, does it work with the technical specs or something, but most probably it is. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I like that idea. So then another question comes up to my mind when you mentioned about the creating a computing system. So what kind of the softwares that we can use from the Kiloview, like for this environment, this workflow, the NDI workflow? Like you mentioned something about recorder, you mentioned something about that. So what are they that we can see?
Yeah, before moving that, just one again extra usability for FXC. You can use virtual sound cards of any of existing audio video over IP. So in ISC, we also tested some of them on FXC. It works very great. And you can use also audio in your production until the, for example, Dante card will be produced from the Kiloview side. And so what about the software solutions? Yes, we suggesting NDI recorder, which can be installed on your Windows machine and record up to 20 NDI sources. High bandwidth HX doesn't matter. It's up to 20. It's automatically discoverable on your network, and you can use also 4K recording. This is limited, not for up to 20. So limitation mostly about your hardware. As powerful your hardware, as more sources you can use. But as the experience shows, the 4K recording in low quantity than full HD. You have also the grid lines for your multi-view recording from 1, 4, 9, 16, and up to 20 multi-view for your recording. And that means as much multi-view you have and as much sources you have in this multi-view, all the sources will be recorded as separated folder directly in your computer. For sure, if you're using Kiloview ecosystem devices in your production, it could be NTP synchronized, all devices. So it's very useful for NDI synchronization and the synchronization for future recordings. So NTP synchronization is also possible here, as well as MOV recording, which is high quality 422 recording possibility directly in your production. So for sure you can connect any other Thunderbolt storages directly to your production and record there, or to your NAS through your network ecosystem. The other software is the MultiView Pro, which is not has some recording possibility inside, but it's full functional multi-view software where you can see up to 20 NDI sources, high bandwidth and HX, depends on your system powerfulity, how it calls. For sure, this is 100% customizable layouts. You can use PEEP, you can use two together, you can use all 20 together, you can use preview and PGM, and also the command sending to encoders, so the cameraman or the source operator can see the sources online or not for the PGM. And the server-based multiple devices can be accessible simultaneously. And all your horizontal and vertical view can be changed. And as I mentioned already, PGM can be NDI outputted directly through your multi-view production to any other production, just to see what's happening in your production at the moment. So this is about softwares we dedicated for the explanation today.
That's really great, actually. With all the idea of using all these softwares, it can be usable in the Cradle series with the computing card as well. So it creates a whole workflow like that you can manage, you can rely on, you can do whatever you want with the different scenarios. So it's really great to hear. So I will take another minute from you to explain, not explain, let's say, to retell all of this in the Turkish, and then we will come back again really fast. Yine şu an karşınızdayım. Şimdi şu an bahsettiğimiz şeyler aslında biraz daha işi, projeyi ya da ne diyeyim, hani iş akışını, AV over IP kurulumunu bir üst seviye taşıyan şeylerden bir tanesi. Çünkü halihazırda konuştuğumuz encoder, decoder ya da merkezi yönetim distribution sisteminin dışında da artık daha böyle sistemsel rack tipi şaselerden bahsettik ve bunların içerisindeki koyulacak seçtiğiniz şeye uygun, senaryoya uygun kartlarla birlikte aslında birden fazla encoder decoder'ınızın olabildiği ya da medya gateway'lerinizin olabildiği rack tipi cihazlardan bahsettiği Cradle serisinden ki bunlar 18 slot bu kartlardan alabilecek kapasiteye sahip ki yüksek bir sayı, bir yandan da redundancy ile de bir güvenilirlik sağlayabilen rack tipi cihazlar bunlar. Bütün kartlar dilediğiniz senaryoya göre customize özelleştirebildiği gibi, hani İngilizce, Türkçe konuşacağım bir arada İngilizce kelimeler söylüyorum. Özelleştirebildiği gibi bir de özel olan computing kartları var. Bunlar aslında benim ilgimi çok çekti. Çünkü bu computing kartlar sayesinde bu Cradle serisini bir aslında bilgisayar gibi, her bir kart farklı bir bilgisayar gibi, bir server gibi kullanabilir hale geliyorsunuz. Bu da bizi aslında hem Kiloview'in sunduğu bazı software çözümlerini donanımsal olarak kullanabilir hale geliyoruz. Farklı bir bilgisayara ihtiyaç duymadan, hem de bazı third party yazılımlar gibi ihtiyaç duyduğumuz bazı çözümler gibi ki bunlardan bir tanesi, örnek veriyorum ki Dante Virtual Sound Card gibi, sanal ses kartı gibi. çözümlerde de aslında entegre edebiliyoruz kredi serisiyle iş akışımıza. Dolayısıyla bu aslında gerçekten birazcık böyle olasılıkları kafada arttırabilen bir sistem olmuş oluyor. Bir yandan da tabii ki Kiloview'in bize sunduğu NDI recording yazılımını da bu Cradle serisi içerisinde çok rahat bir şekilde NDI record edebilme ya da NDI kaynaklarını ya da record edebilme veya multi-view yazılımı sayesinde farklı multi-view layout'ları oluşturup bunları bir işte kontrol odasına olsun ya da başka ekranları olsun ya da video wall'ları olsun istediğimiz layout'larda verebilecek pozisyona gelebilmemizi de sağlıyor ki bunların hepsinde başta konuştuğumuz gibi otomasyon sistemine bağlanabiliyor olması da ekstra bir avantaj. Ben sürekli 30 saniye 1 dakika diyorum. Daha fazla diyorum çünkü konuştukça konuşasım geliyor. Sizleri de eğer bu konuda eğer şey yapıyorsam tekrar ettiğim, tekrara düştüğüm için sıkıyorsam da kusura bakmayın. Hemen devam edelim. Armen'e geri dönelim o zaman. Yes, Armen, we are back again. So
Yeah.
now that's really exciting. Everything that I just heard is really exciting. But again, so I want to hear from Kiloview more. What we should expect from Kiloview for the future.
Yeah,
So what's coming up?
very,
So
very good question. Yeah, I mentioned that we have something which is upgraded the NDI core, and the distribution and centralized management has some level up. And this is our new product. It's AVX 24 Media Hub. I will not go deep to all the technical specification, but to understanding this is completely centralized 24-port media hub, which has layer 3 network possibility inside with VLAN aggregation, as well as PSU redundancy for the power and also PoE connectivity possibility to connect all your encoders and decoders, as well as PTZ cameras, for example. So it's completely optimized for NDI workflow, and here also using FPGA dedicated chip for controlling and distributing the multicast of NDI workflow. So it doesn't matter which kind of signal coming to your network, AVX just bring it, combine it, prepare buffering for the distribution, and just send, and everything is organized inside. As well as yeah, you can create your different VLAN groups, all the IGMP configuration done there. So the NDI prioritization and as well as P2P synchronization for low latency audio video over IP also could be set up in this switch. But for more information, you can look also our web page, and I think we'll have more trainings regarding to this interesting new product.
so interesting, actually. So I believe that this has so many deep things to talk about. I mean, this product has so many things to talk about. But as I can start as I can, again as I understand again. So
Yes.
you are combining all the network and the workflow control into one product together that you can centralize your management. So that's really perfect. So.
Yeah, as the Kiloview idea of the being in the market is real tasks should be solved by Kiloview. We are looking the paths, we're looking the ways to make everything much more simpler, easier, and reliable. So that's why AVX exists. The other things that we want to promote today, because there is no any promotional things, that it's the first time we will talk about this. This is another new product coming from many different comments and feedbacks from our customers, and not only customers, also from integrators, creators, etc. It's the new U4 video dock, which can decode NDI stream to USB, as well as it could be decoded to HDMI and DisplayPort output up to 4K 60. This could decode not only NDI high bandwidth and HX, it can also decode SRT, UDP, IRTP, HLS, and many more other protocols that will be involved to this product. So I think this is something new and very necessary for the market coming from Kiloview to solve real problem for the media integrators as well as for broadcasters. The U4IP video dock coming soon.
Oh, that's interesting as well because yes, something that we really need to like use it as an encoder to the USB for the simple meeting room solutions and stuff like the Teams or Google Meet or Zoom environment. So this is doing like the decoding the NDI signal and make it like as a webcam for your computer, right?
Sure, yeah, completely. You are right. So it means you don't need to think about any different switches, any centralized management things. You just have NDI on your network. You connect USB to your device, and up, device already has audio and video just coming through your protocol you used, NDI, and as well as SRT, RTP, HLS, etc.
Oh, that's really interesting. So it's really good solution. So is this should I assume that we will see this product in near future or so when it will be like available, let's say
We hope so. We hope so because there is lots of different questions in between. One of that we should understand the price for necessity and it not should be high. That's why we should implement all first necessity solutions inside of device and keep all other hardware solutions for future. So we hope this will in upcoming months in the market already. So
perfect,
we'll
perfect.
see.
So we will about to finish, I believe. But I still have a little bit the question marks, not question marks. It's like I want to learn more about the one thing. So everybody is curious about what about the use cases? I mean, are there any references? Are there any examples? So that Kiloview products created that is such an environment, like a different workflows for different needs or different markets and stuff. So can you give us a couple of examples about the case studies?
Yes, we have some case studies, for example, I can show you. I separated this one for corporate auditorium AV system that already working, already integrated. So if you have many different sources and destinations that should be connected together, here the integrators used N40, N60, N4 for encoding and decoding procedures. NDI Core Max as a hardware solution in a 2U rack unit to distribute and control all the NDI flows. And also they are using the recording system, which could be hardware and software solutions both together, as well as Crestron control system that we were talking about. So they integrated API commons to the existing control system, as well as the decoders and encoders also implemented with the existing sources like PCs or cameras, as well as PTZ cameras and the decoder side for the screen. So all-in-one solutions. What the integrators win in these kind of solutions, they just simplify the wiring because when we are talking about NDI, it's mostly about flexibility. So you can use one wire to deliver to many positions in comparing with traditional cables. For sure, integrated workflow is very easy. As I mentioned, you can just add new device and control API to your existing ones and continue using everything you used before. You don't need destroy and do something new and spend lots of money for this. Enhancing compatibilities also coming with all of these features. And basically this one of the solutions that we can suggest. And for example, another scenario for information distribution, this is mostly about the decoding sites. So here the integrators can use NDI core for creating multiple virtual outputs and having different inputs in their production. All the outputs can be attached to the destinations, like to the screens with the decoders, to the softwares, to even the multi-view to see what's going on in entire area. Depends on necessity. And here, people can deliver the information instantly with low latency through the less quantity of cables to the way more destinations they need. So basically, I can separate these scenarios at this moment visually, but we also have today some scenario here.
Oh, that was another thing that I am really curious about. So, let me do a little bit again the summarize before we finish. So, and we will go to the question and answer part. Before that, I will ask another thing to you. But let me do another little bit Turkish as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
Şimdi şöyle aslında artık yeni product'lardan birazcık konuşmaya başladık. Burada en ilgi çeken iki tane product'tan bahsettik. Bunlardan bir tanesi AVX 24 Media Hub ürünü ki bu halihazırda bir hem network'ün backbone'u olabilecek hem de bir yandan da distribution and merkezi kontrolü yapabilecek tek bir üründe toplanması bütün NDI ya da workflow'unuz üzerinde. Dolayısıyla bu aslında çok daha derin bir ünite. Detaylar için apayrı bir büyük ihtimalle session yapmamız gerekebilir. Fakat herhangi bir sorunuz ve ihtiyacınız olursa da istediğiniz zaman iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Bir diğeri ise çok heyecanlı olduğum şeylerden bir tanesi NDI USB encoder. Daha doğrusu decoder diyebiliriz. Yani NDI sinyallerinizi rahatlıkla USB üzerinden webcam olarak bilgisayarınızı artık tanıtabildiğiniz bir sistem haline alıyor. Böylece hani toplantı odaları gibi çözümlerde çok kısa ve kolay bir şekilde NDI kameranızı ya da NDI olmayan kaynaklarınızı encoderlarla NDI'ye çevirdiğinizde rahatlıkla webcam gibi kullanabileceğiniz size sistemler veriyor. Bu da toplantı odalarında dediğim gibi çok hızlı ve rahat bir çözüm. Özellikle işte sabit bir server olmayan, sabit bir bilgisayar olmayan, işte her kullanıcının gelip kendisinin birden toplantıya katılması gerektiği durumlarda sadece bir USB üzerinden bütün NDI kaynaklarınızı ya da kameralarınızı Zoom, Teams gibi platformlara aktarabiliyor olduğunuz sistemler. Onun dışında birazcık örneklerden, referanslardan bahsettik. Fakat şimdi de yavaş yavaş artık sonlandırıyoruz. Hem zamanımız çok geçmiş bile, hatta öyle söyleyeyim. Hem de bir yandan da bundan sonra daha detaylı farklı webinarlarla da karşınıza gelip daha derinlere ineceğiz zaten. Dolayısıyla lütfen herhangi bir sorunuz varsa chat kısmına sorun. Ben şu an aslında Armen'in arkasındaki background'ı çok merak ediyorum. Orada galiba bir sistem kurulu, orada bazı cihazlar görüyorum. Onları bize birazcık bahsetmesini isteyeceğim. Bu arada lütfen var olan bütün sorularınızı sohbet bölümüne yazın. Biz onları cevaplandırıyor olacağız. Eğer sorunuz yoksa da daha sonrasında eğer oluşursa da bize yeniden iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Ben şu an Armen'e dönüyorum. Yes, Armen, I'm with you. So I asked to our audience that to type their questions to the chat segment. Meanwhile, I'm really curious about one thing. You mentioned about that as well. I see a really cool background from your camera. So
Yes.
I think there are some devices, there are some workflows that you can show us, right? I see some cameras, some encoders. So what's going on there? Can you make a tour for us? So is it possible?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's by chance today we have big production here, all AV over AP. Behind me you can see camera set up with the lens with the N6 encoder in it because we have the full HD 1080p workflow. And here we also have another new implementation from our production, like one single cable which is powering encoder, bringing the signal from encoder as an NDI signal, also the intercom communication, and as well as powering the cable and controlling the camera all in one single cable. Would you like some tour, you said, yeah?
Yes, of course, if it's possible.
Yeah, sure, it is possible.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So this is the solution you already seen. Camera, everything connected to the one tripod, and here is the splitter for implementing the connectivity through the one cable. So I also will show you our production site. So here is the our remote control place. We are using now the software solution for multi-view and recording and streaming. This is a vMix-based production. We're using some traditional versions also with the HDMI and SDI. Here is the camera in preparation. And maybe you can see the stage if you're interested. So it's in preparation now. You can see the
yes, I can see that.
Yeah, you can see the stage is preparing, the chairs is placing, so the carpets here, all the cable channels. So we have here audio part, which we connecting using again AV over IP. Hello guys, you are live now. So here we have the decoder here. Yeah, this is a D350, which is decoding our PGM directly to the LED screens, which we'll see 2-3 hours later, as well as Dante audio. I can see where they connected it, but we connected it here.
Yes.
We are using for audio. And here is our main box. So the flexibility of NDI is also possibility to use only one single fiber cable coming to our production. So here we are using Netgear switch. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah, one fiber cable coming here from our production site. Then here we will set the camera and connect through the one single cable, as I already showed you in our preset. So that's what we are expecting too. This is our intercom and encoder site. So, and that's it basically.
But it's really a good, like I think it's a really big surprise. I was not expecting something that already is there that you can show me. So it's really cool to have that. So I believe it became a really good example for all of the audience. So you know what? It was really exciting. It was really a pleasure to have you here. I think we don't have so many questions. I think we don't have any questions. Maybe it was so clear that you explained everything really well, and they know that they can reach us every time that we can answer their questions. So only I have one question which already the answered, which is like for the NDI infrastructure, what type of network switches you are actually giving. Oh, we lost you, I guess, because of the connection, I believe. Anyway. Neyse, nasılsa şu an biz de tam hali hazırda kapatıyorduk. Şimdi elveda diyemedik gibi oldu Arven'e. Büyük ihtimalle Wi-Fi'ında bir sıkıntı oldu taşırken, kamerayı taşırken.
I'm here.
You are here. You are back, right?
Yeah, I just surprisingly lost the connection
yeah, most
with
probably
you.
because of the Wi-Fi connection, I see.
I'm using cellular through the moving. Yeah, maybe something just...
So that's okay. So we were about to close anyway. So maybe we can't see you right now. No problem with that because the connection is broken, I guess. But anyway, thank you for coming, Armen. So I will do the closure as well. And then I hope we will do many things later on together. So thanks a lot for in advance. So it was a really great pleasure to have you here. Thank you for all the information that you give. Okay.
Yeah, thank you all. Also, so maybe you can see now me. I should return.
Let's see. So can we see Armen? No, we can't right now.
Oh.
Yes, we can.
No,
okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
perfect. Yeah. Yeah, sorry for these technical things because it was spontaneous surround tour for you. Maybe I lost something in between. Yeah, but thank you again for having me. It was very interesting to introduce our ecosystem, and we are happy to share this information to everyone. And if you have any ideas, feedbacks, comments, just let us know. We are ready to implement something new and try something new. And for others, for my side, I go to prepare for our upcoming production, and see how it works today with the AV over IP.
Maybe you can send some photos that we can share later on about a production that has been
Sure.
done for some Kiloview integration. That's really great. Thank you, Armen. So I will do just the Turkish closing. And again, it was really a pleasure. Thank you for everything you have done. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you.
Thank you. Have a nice day too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Evet, şimdi Armen'i de göndermiş olduk. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz tekrardan ona. Hepiniz için de katıldığınızda çok teşekkür ederim. Dediğimiz gibi hani webinarlarımız devam ediyor olacak. Yakın zamanda 2 hafta sonrasında bir Netgear webinarımız olacak partnerlerimiz için. Dolayısıyla hepinizin katılımını ona da bekliyorum. Çünkü her türlü AV over IP ile direkt olarak ilgili olacak bir webinar olacaktır kendisi. Hepinize geldiğiniz için teşekkür ederim. Hala yeni gelenler görüyorum. Başka saat dilimine göre herhalde toplantıya şey yapmışlar. Ama olsun. Dediğimiz gibi bu toplantının bir kaydını biz yakın zamanda link olarak da paylaşıyor olabileceğiz. Kaçıranlar, geç katılanlar ya da katılamayanlar için izleyebilme imkanları ve şansları olacak. Geldiğiniz için tekrar teşekkür ediyorum. Herhangi bir sorunuz olursa hiç çekinmeden bizlere ulaşabilirsiniz. Elimizden geldiğince cevaplarız. Hatta sizleri tekrardan Kiloview uzmanlarıyla da bir araya yeri geldiğinde getirebiliriz. Öğrenmek istediğiniz, detaylı öğrenmek istediğiniz başka eğer üniteler, ürünler ya da çözümler var ise. Şimdilik bu kadar. Geldiğiniz için teşekkürler. Bir sonraki webinarımızda görüşmek üzere. 2 haftaya tekrardan sizi bekliyoruz burada olmaya. Kendinize iyi bakın. Hoşça kalın.